Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering. Here we have Matt on green-white Stompy versus Dom on Monkeystill, the Jeskai standstill deck. And of course, there's Ragavan on the first turn. That's what you're looking for. Now, I don't know what Stompy's going to have for Ragavan to steal, but there's a treasure and a potential Elvish Spirit Guide. See if Dom actually opts to play it, and he does. He'll just take the 2/2. That's not what you expect when leaving up Elvish Spirit Guide. And a Eldrazi Displacer gets dazed. 4 damage comes in. Another treasure. This time a City of Traders mercifully can't be played, as Ragavan does not allow you to play lands from your opponent's deck. Thought Knot Seer reveals a whole bunch of goodies. Force of Negation not able to counter the creature. Of course, its non-creature spell Lightning Bolt gets taken by the Thought Knot. There's an Urza's Saga. Urza's Saga, powerful new addition, and of course, very good under a standstill. Going to, in all likelihood, need to tick up. Eventually find Retrofitter Foundry, Mox Diamond for Matt. Add some mana. And a Skyclave Apparition. Takes out the Ragavan. Picking up. Dashing with Ragavan. Right into the Skyclave. Just hits a land, not very exciting there. Bunch of treasures, but... Oh, and now Ramunap Excavator, that gets a Force of Will. This is looking quite bad for Dom. I mean, making a single construct. Here he's going to get another construct and the Retrofitter Foundry. He has another mana. Actually, no, he's fine because the treasures as well. Oh, and Pithing Needle. What are we going with for Pithing Needle? Cannot believe that Retrofitter Foundry is not being found here. Possible this is a card that Dom does not physically own. It is kind of a tough card to get right now. But a 4/4 swinging. Urza's Saga, so powerful. Forgot about the treasures. Thinking about Dom's position. Another Ragavan. Oh, so Skyclave removed a Pithing Needle. Everything turning sideways. All 2/2s right now. So Ragavan threatens to make treasures. But just that Elvish Spirit Guide and a couple of tokens. All the permanents on Dom's side of the board came from Matt. The Elvish Spirit Guide stolen with Ragavan. The tokens made by Skyclave Apparition. And that's what Ragavan decks do sometimes. They just find a way to win with whatever your opponent happens to give you. And that's game 1. Let's see what Matt can do. Game 2, he's going to be hoping for Chalice of the Void on the play. That would be the ideal opening versus a deck like this. You're going to have Ragavan, of course, but then cantrips, and we've seen other low casting cost cards. Of course, Urza's Saga can give you a way around that, being able to get in your 1 casting cost artifacts despite having a Chalice at 1. But that said, a lot of the wins that Stompy is going to find themselves getting in a tournament setting are going to be because of that Chalice of the Void, just the nature of tournament decks, how that works. Which is kind of funny because I'll tell you, a lot of kitchen table games do not care about cards like Chalice. It really is once you get into tournament settings that some of these cards become more powerful. Once Upon a Time leading out for Matt. Finding a Stoneforge Mystic. Interesting stories so far. And a Mox Diamond for that first turn Stoneforge. Pithing Needle looking to shut it down. Seen Matt does have answers to Pithing Needle. Form of Skyclave Apparition. Gets rid of a non-land permanent. Mana costs 4 or less. And Eldrazi Displacer. Eats a Swords to Plowshares. Best removal pretty much ever printed. They started pretty high. They did not know how to make Magic cards when they first started making them. Some of the cards are literally still the absolute best at what they do from way back in the day. Ancestral Recall, Swords to Plowshares, Lightning Bolt. They are often imitated, never duplicated, as they are just the best there is at what they do. Path to Exile occasionally will fill in a little bit of the support for decks running Swords to Plowshares as a 5th copy. Sometimes even a 6th, but I think Solitude is likely to compete with that slot now. Skyclave Apparition clears out that Engineered Explosives Chalice at 1. And True Name, not super amazing here. It does not win the race. It's just kind of staring at Matt. Thalia. Deck shares a bunch of DNA with Death and Taxes. You've got Stoneforge Mystic and Thalia and Skyclave Apparition. And now everything turns sideways. Stoneforge blocking 1. Looks like Matt's going to push through lethal here. Oh no, that was not lethal. All right, he is shedding his board presence, just crashing the waves against the shore here. True Name trying to be the rock that Dom can depend on, clearing threat after threat. Ultimately, that Stoneforge has helped out quite a bit, including giving its life for the cause when it was holding the Jite. Batterskull turning sideways again. And now it's done. So calculated risk by Matt. At some point, you got to start attacking even though you're going to lose in combat versus True Name. Just the cost of doing business there. Got to push through the damage. If you sit around too long, eventually you may face some type of sweeper. As we saw, Engineered Explosives could be quite bad there. And Batterskull eventually could get answered if you give them all day. So, and just blowing up the Germ token with the Pithing Needle in play, that's not going to end up working in your favor. Cauldron Complete, a new card. I'm not sure how old this footage is. Possible Matt had Cauldron Complete. I know he actually picked one up from the store. We always appreciate when people choose us for their Magic card needs. And Dom will have the play here. Will he have the first turn Monkey? The main phase Brainstorm. That is surprising. Can't really think of a reason to just jam the brainstorm there. Mox Diamond into Thalia. Dom has the force of will. Oh, but opts not to use it. He shows a force and then gets to use Prismatic Ending. One of the more efficient ways to remove a Thalia. Force of Will stops Ramunap Excavator. Crucible of Worlds on a stick. That would have been a huge problem, as it would have allowed Wasteland to be recurred repeatedly, and over time, Dom would be left with literally no permanence. Oh, is this another Excavator? Oh, look at that. Absolutely brutal, as Ramunap Excavator allows Wasteland to be played each turn, blowing up basic lands. This is not going to do. Chalice at 1. Looks like a Force of Negation, so technically that should be exiled. That Chalice. And it's just going to be 2 damage a turn from this 2/3. Not actually a snake. The Naga. I mean, I thought Naga were snake folk. That's interesting. At this point, this is going to be a wrap. Batter Skull along with just strip lock. Each turn, these lands destroyed. I mean, all you can really do in the face of that is play fetch lands and just hope that your opponent runs out of gas. Or actually, I guess you play a bunch of fetch lands and then potentially get to the point where you can cast some spells. It takes 2 wastelands to get rid of a fetch land overall. They target it, you sack it in response, and the next turn you target the land. Of course, basic lands are obviously the ideal response there, but it doesn't appear that Dom had access to any, as he just gets wastelanded right out of that game. Stompy takes it down.